weekly number 3, where Zest picked up a 3-0 victory. A 3-0 victory against ByuN. That's crazy. Like a 3-0 victory against ByuN. He picked that up, and that was crazy. And I was really excited for that final back then. This is the semi-final today. Also in our semi-finals, Innovation will play either Petit Drogo or Stats. That best of 3 PvP still ongoing as well. So this is all still going on as we kick off into game number 1 of this right now. Our first semi-final. We'll bring you guys the other semi-final too. We will cast both of those, and as well as the finals today. As to the bottom left-hand side of the map, our blue Terran player. Give it up for ByuN. Is Wardy finishing the tournament today? Asks Tempura69. Yes, we are. All matches played today. What's up, Lib75 as well? How you doing, buddy? How's life? As to the top right-hand side of the map, our pink Protoss player. Guys, give it up if you're going to be cheering on Zest. So setting up into this first game of this best of 3, we look to see how things will be going over the next couple of minutes. Let's see what will happen, look to see what's going to be going on as obviously ByuN and Zest. I mean, what a series. I mean, Zest has been playing so well, and especially in PvT, I would say. If there's been one matchup I've been very impressed of by Zest lately, it's been the PvT, where he's had very good decision making, he's had great army splits, great engagement specifically, I think is probably the most kind of notable thing for me, I guess. He's been engaging in ways I didn't know was possible in this matchup, so it's going to be pretty sick to see how this turns out as we see the probe scatting around early. Doesn't see much, and it is not really much to see. It's not even a Reaper expansion here from ByuN. It's just a reactor expand after 1 Marine, so probe picks up on this information. I mean, that is nice to see that it's not a Reaper expand, I suppose. That's some info for you to work on. Let's see this probe just scatting around, seeing where it's going to go. So this probe comes over to the top right, and we're going to see this warp gate is starting up here from Zest, obviously. So warp gate starting up. We're seeing an adept on the way out as well. Mothership core being chrono boosted as well. Coming up to being about 75% of the way done in just a moment or so, as the natural expansion will be finishing up in a couple of moments. So natural is about to finish here. We're just going to be seeing that warp gate tech continue to come on out. Now ByuN is actually going to opt for a very fast 3CC play style. Third command center already starting to build right now, so already the third CC on the way up. Second barracks starting up now, as well as the robo facility is about 25% of the way done. So robo facility continues to build up as well as we set up into this, and again, just keep an eye on how things are going to be going over the next few moments. So yeah, I mean, obviously with a fast 3CC, you're probably not expecting a super fast factory. Extra barracks is kind of the very standard way to go, I guess, in TV. Well, I mean, I guess you could see kind of a fast 3 factory with fast 3CC. Go for like a siege tank based defense. It's possible. I mean, if the way he opens though with kind of the reactor and a lot of marine production, I think extra barracks is kind of to be expected for the most part, I suppose. Adept pulls away here slightly, and we are going to be seeing the tech lab starting up on this barracks in the main base as well. As we're just going to be seeing the again 2 bases just continue to produce these workers as frequently as possible. Dark Shrine comes up in the main base, so setting up into this, Dark Shrine will be on the way, and again that robo about to finish up this observer. So observer finishes now, and that's going to be seeing this probe being chrono boosted out still. So probe still being chrono boosted. I'm just going to be seeing the again an observer moving down through the center. We've seen Adept coming to the right hand side as well. I'm just going to be seeing obviously Dark Templar play to try and do enough damage early. Now it's an interesting one because DTs against 3CC is probably one of the worst builds you can go for. Not only has he got the triple scan, but even if you kill any workers, generally ByuN's going to be able to rebuild those workers so quickly anyways. I mean, obviously you can still get in here and do enough damage to win the game. It's just much less likely when there's a triple scan available. Even the access to a third scan just means that, with a third scan up and available, you're able to kind of drop it down, and you're just more likely to have it ready when you need it. You have more scans coming off cooldown more frequently as well, obviously. So moving down towards the bottom left-hand side, and we're going to be seeing if he can get some damage done with these initial DTs. Let's see how many he warps in. Dark Shrine just now finishing, building the third Nexus behind this as well. 2 Dark Temple to begin with. No sign of an engineering base, so it really is all down to scans. And right now we don't have any NG4 scan just yet, but we're not far away from the first scan being available. So let's see if Zest can force enough out of this. The DTs will drop on down, and already starting to spread out just a little bit here in a few different directions. And we'll use the Warp Prism to obviously try and make the most out of this. Scan comes down, actually hits an Observer. This DT going to run into the units as well. Maybe could have protected himself from that, as there's going to be another scan, but this time the Warp Prism nearby and the DTs get lifted on up. I love that, dropping it down just to the side here, and will start to work its way through that depot. So just going to find some annoying positions, and again, I mean, this is something which ByuN will struggle with. I mean, now he's got turrets up, he does have areas which are obviously much safer for him. And he's able to kind of pick up another DT here with the scan 2 at the front, so I think he's actually doing okay against this. DT at the natural expansion can't do much more. Obviously, the fact that he's built up a third Nexus is the major part of this, because he is starting to build up his own economy behind all of this. As Zest waiting for this scan to come down so he can lift up this Dark Templar. Actually moving away from the Warp Prism though. I guess just saying like, hey, okay, I can't pay attention to this right now. Move the Warp Prism away so that I don't lose it while you maybe come forward. So he actually picks off a depot and a reactor on this barracks. Still one DT in the natural expansion as well. CT still poking away, and we are going to be seeing this depot getting picked off. And that DT will just move away to the side. Zest and ByuN obviously were finalists of weekly number 3, but ByuN actually won weekly number 4 against, I think it was either Alive or Gumiho in the finals. I think it might have been Alive, but I think it was Gumiho actually. Yeah, it was Gumiho. ByuN coming out ahead on that. So both these guys, previous WardiTV weekly winners. Obviously the only WardiTV weekly winner before that was Sue, so he got knocked out early on by Bunny. We saw that happening. And as we're going to be seen coming through the center of the map here. Group of sentries, some stalkers. And Immortal as a follow-up as well, and it looks as though Zest wants to get very aggressive with his follow-up. I mean, to be fair, you think about how much damage he's done here, and yeah, he's actually has kind of really slowed down ByuN. You know, he's forced a lot of scans, he's picked off a lot of structures, depots, reactor, and now he's pushing forward to try and take advantage of all of that. Already picking off a couple Marines, forcing another scan where he maybe can't afford to, not another scan, another stim, but he maybe can't afford to stim when he's such low health and such low, late medevacs. 7 more depths warping in. Now there's a double drop across the map, and he's going to start empowering pylons here. Obviously that's kind of a scary situation. If you lose all of your gateways, all of a sudden you can't build anything. He's going to lose power to his resonating glaives as he pushes up this ramp. Oh, well, this drop by ByuN actually might just change absolutely everything here. As I mean, Zest isn't going to be able to build anything else here in a moment. He pulls probes in to try and defend this, as across the map he just doesn't have enough, and all of a sudden ByuN, wow, this was looking really, really good for Zest, I think, until this drop just did so much here. All the probes going down, and enough army at the front as well for ByuN to continue pushing forwards. 2 Stalkers full. These Marines and Marauders going to get rid of this Immortal as well, so that will also get picked off here. You're going to see the DTs swiping away those Marauders, getting brutalized right there. There's more Marines coming in towards the center of the map now. I mean, wow. I mean, he chases down the medevacs on his own side of the map, but Zest just lost so much army. He loses so much here. Obviously, losing the kind of resonating glaives production kind of forced him into a fight, which he probably wouldn't have taken so quickly. If you think about it, he probably wasn't looking to actually engage immediately there. He engaged because that drop was in his main. I think he would have preferred to obviously move on in with the, with the resonating glaives, and that could have changed a lot. But also because he was rushed, he ran up into a couple of Widow Mines, and I mean, it's just a couple of mistakes forced by the fact that ByuN knew what he wanted to do, and he made it happen. Absolutely crazy. Is this Liberator going to come around? Just going to look for more kills. No pylons behind this mineral line. So that is a very exposed area as a DT. Try and pick off some workers in the natural expansion. Just as the turret finishes up now, though. So, I mean, realistically, this DT not going to do too much more. Not getting picked off as, well, ByuN still pressuring towards the front. And it's Zest who is very far behind in terms of an army over here. I mean, he's down heavily in army supply. The Widow Mines, well, they do a lot of initial damage. And with that, Zest will just type out GG, allowing ByuN to go. A pretty crazy game number 1, really, as we have to the bottom side of the map, our blue Terran. It is going to be ByuN. If we're going to talk quickly about that rotational spawn advantage, then again, it's kind of the better spawn for Zest, where ByuN isn't able to drop into his natural as easily as if it was maybe the other way around on the spawns. I'm sure a bit about that in the TvT, so we won't go into it too much here for now, unless we really have nothing to talk about. But for now, we do have the introduction to make of our Pink Cross player to the top right hand side. Give it up for Zest. Okay, so again, Innovation starts our other semi-final. Who's excited for that one? That's kind of crazy. ByuN Zest followed by Innovation Stats. That's actually very, very crazy. And it's actually probably the sickest set of semi-finals we've had so far on the WardiTV Weekly, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the games. Hopefully you guys are having a good day with us so far as well. As always, if you're having a good time, do let us, well, just let me know what's up in the chat. I always like to hear from you guys. I always like to hear what you guys are up to, what you guys are saying, and all the rest of it as well. Interesting question in the chat. Someone just said something was his worst matchup, but he's still winning a lot of his games. And someone's like, well, how can it be your worst matchup if you're winning lots of games? And you gotta think, like, winning games doesn't necessarily mean you're good at the matchup. It just means you're good at abusing units, perhaps. I don't know. I feel like this as well. I feel as though I have worse matchups where I feel as though I can win games, but I don't really understand the matchup at all, and I play it out badly, and maybe sometimes I feel like I get lucky, or I can do certain things to win. I can maybe do certain things to win that help, but I wouldn't say I'm good at the matchup, right? Whereas in the other matchups, I feel more confident and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess it's one of those. It's a personal opinion sort of thing, obviously, but it's kind of an interesting question to discuss, I suppose. CC first, by the way, from ByuN. I mean, we've been watching it build, but just in case you didn't recognize it, is the CC before the barracks. So setting up into the free racks once again. ByuN with the heavy bio opening for the second game in a row. I'm just going to be seeing a Twilight Council just setting up from Zest. Now, this is a Twilight Council before Robo, and I must apologize. I can't actually remember what he did in the last game, if it was Robo then Twilight or what, but a Twilight before Robo does generally suggest something along the lines of a faster Dark Shrine, or faster Resonating Glaives, or even just a faster Blink, but the idea is it's faster, and faster, with tech, generally means aggressive, because you don't need Blink this fast to just defend drops. You don't need Glaives this fast just to have a stronger mid-game army. You don't need DTs this fast just to kind of defend, just to harass defensively. It's going to be generally a more aggressive opening here from Zest when you see the Twilight, then the Robo, rather than the Robo than the Twilight. And even if it is just Blink, we might just see a bit more Stalker pressure on the map, because they can take that map control a little bit earlier on. So we'll see if that's something Zest is going to be looking for here. Especially as he scouted across the map, he got into the main, and, well, I don't know if he actually saw the CC, or, I mean, I know he doesn't see the CC, but maybe he saw, like, SCVs transferring in this direction. So either way, I think Zest probably does have a good idea of what is going on right now, and we'll see what he's going to do about it. Coronavirus not his first Stalker at the moment, as he just pull a probe down to the south side of the map, and, well, he's actually just going to leave this on the watchtower for now. I was wondering if he's going to maybe pull it forwards and get really aggressive with it, but nothing just yet. As we just see this probe continue to build on up here, as we have, I mean, Stimpack about halfway done. Factory is coming up to finishing very shortly as well. So Factory going to be finishing here very, very soon, and again, Stimpack on the way up, +1 on the way also from this engineering bay. I'm just going to see another pylon coming up from Zest towards his natural expansion. So there's the Warp Prism on the way out. So again, as we sort of mentioned, a little bit more of an aggressive opening here, I guess, from Zest. As we set up into this, obviously the Warp Prism allows him to push across the map and reinforce a little bit more easily. And 4 gateways as well. Again, everything about this game is saying aggression. I'm going to attack you, I'm going to fire, I'm going to pressure. Much more so than I did in the last game, I suppose. I mean, like, obviously he attacked in the last game with the DTs. Obviously it's a much different attack this time around. Marine comes in towards the watchtower and sort of clean up that probe. And just 2 Stalkers come out to clean this up. I mean, that doesn't really reveal a lot. I mean, 2 Stalkers pretty standard to have at this point in the game. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily reveals to ByuN that Zest is going to be a bit more aggressive than usual or anything like that. I'm just going to be seeing these few Marines pulling back a little bit from this position. Now, actually, 4 Stalkers in the Warp Prism are going to be interesting because the Marines are going to be fairly nearby, and they actually have Stim as well. It's kind of interesting. Sorry, it's 2 Adepts and 2 Stalkers. It is interesting that kind of how it plays out against CC First, because CC First obviously feels like it should be a bit of a weaker build, but actually, once the CC is up and you build into 3 racks, you actually have a lot more bio than you usually would at this point in the game. So it actually leads you into a position where you're much safer than usual, I suppose, because you just have so much more bio out, and that can mean quite a lot, actually. The bio forces makes it very difficult to make harassment like this happen effectively throughout the game. So just going to be seeing the Warp Prism coming back towards the upper right side. And at the same time, 2 Medivacs are going to be starting to drop up here as well. More Marines pushing as well, and what has Zest got to realistically defend in the next couple of moments? Actually, I'm looking at this. ByuN's on 49 army supply with a +1 upgrade against 0-0 Protoss gateway units, which are just going to die. Like, Zest has nothing right now. Like, literally nothing. He's going to lose the Mothership Core without even really dropping any super effective overcharges. Like the one to the right here is, yeah, it's slowing down ByuN, but it's not exactly saving the day, as this warp isn't going to try and micro as well to help out. As the overcharges dissipate, then all of a sudden, well, Robo Facility is going to go down too. ByuN just has so much. Zest is just not going to have enough at all. He was supply blocked for a little bit here just before the fight, but I mean, was that really what made this difference? Like, very hard to say, but whatever it was, Zest has not had a good time here at all, and ByuN has traded very, very well. Medevacs are going to get away. I mean, here's the issue though. Robo Facility dead. No Colossus on the way out, which means follow-up attacks are going to continue to be very powerful. In fact, the only thing I think Zest comes out of this with an advantage in is the fact he does have 1-1 about to finish up, so you will eventually here begin to take an upgrade lead over his opponent, who only had the +1 attack finished, and was actually very late on starting +1 armor. With that said, I mean, is there just enough bio to keep on pushing through and just end this game very shortly? Well, maybe not just yet, but ByuN definitely looks to be in a good position to continue to do that at some point. 4th and 5th racks coming down as well. I mean, why take a 3rd command center if you know you're already so far ahead? ByuN obviously want to open this series as well, and looking as though he could just take this 2-0 at this point in the near future. So again, more bio just gathering up on the watchtower, and we're going to be seeing this Marine coming up to the top side as well. Just scouting around a little bit as I'm just going to push on in, and well, we're going to see these Zealots starting to take a little bit of damage right away, so I mean, these Zealots just going to get taken down very, very quickly. I mean, what you might do here realistically is Zest, you just don't have the composition you need to fight against this army. Like, you need Colossus or something at this point, and that tech isn't there because of the earlier push, and I mean, Motion Core come forwards here, and the Adepts are kind of holding on for a while for double upgrades and so on, but it's again eventually just ByuN doing too much damage, and eventually we'll just clean everything up. This pylon goes down as well, and you can see that Zest has no units left over, so it is just going to be GG's, and that is going to be game number 2 going the way of ByuN, and it's a 2-0 victory here for ByuN in this best of 3.